Hey everyone, welcome back. So in the last video we have learned about init container, and in this video we are going to learn about the ephemeral container, and we will cover what is an ephemeral container, why do we need it, and how it is different from the regular container, and we will also see the hands-on the ephemeral container. So let's get started. Now imagine you have an application running in the production and suddenly something goes wrong. The pod is running but application is behaving unexpectedly and you wanted to debug it. So normally you will use kubectl exec -it podname -bash. But there is a problem. The most production images are very minimal. They don't have a tool like curl, wget and ping. So you have nothing to debug with. And you cannot restart the pod because you might lose the exact state that you are trying to debug. And this is exactly the problem that ephemeral containers solve. So what is ephemeral containers? An ephemeral container is the temporary container that added to the running pod for the debugging purpose. The word ephemeral means a temporary, and it's get added to the running pod on demand, come with a full debugging tool, does not restart when it exits, and does not affect your main application at all. Now how it is different from the regular container? So let's quickly compare them. A regular container are defined in the YAML file, but ephemeral container are added on demand. A regular container restart automatically if they fail, but ephemeral container do not. Regular container run your application, whereas the ephemeral container are used only for the debugging purpose. A regular container are persistent, but ephemeral container are temporary. Now let's run this on the real Kubernetes cluster. Open the killercoder.com, select a Kubernetes playground and wait for the environment to load. Now let's verify the cluster, and you will see the control plane and worker node are in ready state. So let's get started. So first create the pod using a minimal image like Nginx, which has a very limited debugging tools. So let's create the file now and press I and copy the following. Now press escape and :WQ and press enter to save. Now let's create the pod. The pod has been created. Now let's check the status. And you will see the pod is running. Now let's get inside the pod. Now we are inside the container. Try to run some of the debugging tools such as wget, ifconfig and check the process. Now let's check the wget version. And it says wget not found. Now let's check the network interface. It says ifconfig not found. Now let's check if the process is running. And you will see all of the tools are not available, and this is the problem. The container image does not have all the tools that we need. Let's exit from the container. Now let's add the ephemeral container to the main container. Now let me explain each part. So kubectl debug, this is the command to add the ephemeral container. -it is the interactive terminal, so we can get a cell. -image is equal to busybox, the image that we are going to use for the ephemeral container, and -target is the main container that we wanted to debug. Now let's see if the Nginx process is running. Now you will see the Nginx default response page, and this confirms the main container is serving the traffic correctly. Check if the main application is running. You can see the Nginx process is running. You can check the network interface again, and you can see everything is working. So all of the tools are available inside the ephemeral container, even though the main container does not have them. Now let's exit from the container and get the status again. The pod is still running normally and the ephemeral container exit, but the main application container continue to run. Now let's describe the pod. Now scroll to the ephemeral container sections, and you will see the busybox container state is terminated, reason is equal to completed, and this confirm the ephemeral container ran and exit and the main container was not affected at all. So let's quickly recap. Ephemeral container are the temporary container added to a running pod for the debugging purpose. It does not affect the main container. It is not defined in the YAML file but added on demand using a kubectl debug. It is perfect for debugging the minimal production image, and the key command is kubectl debug -it pod name -image is equal to busybox -target is equal to container name. So that's everything about the ephemeral container. In the next video we will learn about the static part. Thanks for watching and I will see you next video.